Okay, hi, I think we're all set. Hey, all right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I hope everybody's having a good day. I have had a very productive day. I like being able to say that. I hope anybody that's tuning in today has had a very productive day. It's important to be able to sit down for a moment and look at the time that you're spending on stuff and to say to yourself, you know, am I meeting some of the objectives that I need to get done for the stuff I need to get done? But at the same time, have I got a little bit of time for the fun stuff? Okay, just a couple of quick little things. We've got some people that are joining us today with Mrs. G and her class, or Miss G and her class in Mexico. Welcome aboard, everybody, as well as hi to everybody else that's jumping in and taking part in the stream today. We're going to talk about a fun topic. I'm really excited about it. I changed the layup a little bit, and I'll get into that in 2 seconds. But hi. We got Rachel here. Rachel says bonjour, hello, and we've got Miss G and her class has joined us. Oh, look at this! What a great bunch! 24 students, English class, high intermediate. We have future doctors, architects, engineers, designers, fashion, and multimedia. They might enter and chat. You're all very welcome to do so. Okay. Dee Dee's here. Hi, Dee Dee. Pato, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but hello, welcome aboard. Rather than keep jumping back in, hi, Barbara, hi, Jen, hi, everybody. I'm going to forego that part. If you're saying something directly to me, put it in caps. That's how we're going to do it today. That's how my friend Dee Dee does it on her stream, and it works for her to be able to sort out in the stream what's going on. In the intro, I'm going to do my typical run through really fast, and then we're going to get cracking. So this is yesterday's page. The suggestion came from Jim Lujan. Now, the principle of how I work here is one person will give me a suggested idea, and I will sit down and write and draw a comic within 24 hours, one-page comic, and post it the next day. And since the start of the year, we have done 154 pages this way. It's a lot of fun. Yesterday's was Mosh Pit Jump Ropers. The idea, I think, being that people grab ropes and swing out over the audience and jump into the crowd that way. But I referred it to a television star from the 1970s named Mr. Roper, because I'm weird like that. So this is sort of this is going to get right into what I'm going to talk about today, which is free and open receptiveness to creativity in your daily life. I'm going to run a couple slideshows while I'm chatting, just to show some of these one-page ideas that we've done over the course of the year. And I'm going to kick the camera off. Whoa, flooding the camera. Sorry about that. I got a whole bunch of stuff to do to us, so I'll go do some drawing as well if I can. We'll see. We'll get to it. We've got some more one-page ideas. If you have a one-page comic idea, feel free to put it in the chat, and we'll do our best to catch a hold of it. Okay, so some of these pages that are going to be scanning over top. You know what? I'll forego drawing for a few minutes, and let's get to the chatting. Let's just start having some fun. Okay, receptivity to ideas, and that just means being open to ideas. Creativity in your daily life is a fantastic and fun way to maintain yourself with a degree of monitoring your stress, or with a degree of being able to find some sort of, I'm going to use some words and I apologize for them. I'll try to find different words to use in case, because I was going to say equilibrium, and if people don't understand, just let me know and I'll come up with other words. But in order to maintain a balance, how about that, in how you feel about yourself and how you feel about what's going on, if you tend to be a creative person, whether it's writing, whether it's art, whether it's music, whatever it is, working with your hands, building things out of wood, building things out of mud, whatever it is, if you find yourself to be a creative person, and your daily life doesn't necessarily allow you that, like let's say some of these examples that came forward, like being a doctor. Being a doctor would suggestively not be what's considered a creative job, right? But it is. And I think that pretty much all things are. And what I mean by that is you can find outlets and you can find moments where you can look for and have some fun. Numbers can be fun. All kinds of different things can be fun. in your day-to-day life that you might not expect them to be. And if your day-to-day life does not allow you to feel that sense of creativity, because you can't really be creative with medications or something like that as a doctor, but what you can be is receptive and open to ideas, and to retain some of those thoughts and ideas, to think about where you are and what you're doing, look at the things around you, see objects as objects are, turn them around in your hand to understand the shape and the weight of them and the structure of those, so that if you do sit down and try to remake this thing in some way, shape, or form, you've got an idea of the thing that you're trying to remake. All kinds of different stuff like that can be applied in your creative outlets that might not necessarily be something that's allowed in your day-to-day working position. So when it comes to, remind me every now and then, somebody, I'll try to, Rachel says, do not be creative with medications as a doctor. Again, I'm sorry. Yeah, don't do that. So I'm going to just kick up different slideshows as we go. So these are all pages that we've done. So while your day-to-day life might not allow you, like being a doctor, to be creative with medications, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you can start to think about what are alternative, progressive ways of looking at things and developing methods. This is what science has done, is it teaches us new ways to look at things, and it teaches us new approaches to things. And that's how we've developed and grown as cultures. It's how we've developed and grown as a civilization. There's all kinds of different notions that you can do, but when it comes to having outlets are really important. And that's where it comes in to be an integral part of you. If there's a way for you to find a means for you to get out maybe some of your daily anxieties, maybe some of your stressors, maybe some of those situations that cause you turmoil, for lack of a better word at the moment. Sometimes having a creative outlet, whether it's music or art, photography, I would subjectively say that there are creative outlets in going for walks. Now your class is an English class, and so you're going to be doing an X amount of writing. And now there's going to be X amount of projects with your class. There's all kinds of possibilities in your writing that you can use as a creative outlet. But a really fun thing to do is that even as something as subjective as a walk, when you're walking and you're enjoying the world around you and you're thinking about things as you're moving around, use your imagination. This is a fantastic time for you to be creative in your own thoughts, for you to be creative in dreaming up scenarios if you're writing, for dreaming up images, for trying to take little mental pictures of things as you're moving around, in order to be able to drum up these ideas, to be able to source these images that you've got in your head for when you sit down and work on something. And so with that availability of ideas and images, and you see situations and how people interact with one another, and you see, behaviors of animals around you, or you notice a plane flying overhead and it breaks you off into some thoughts. All of those different things have availability for creative outlet, not just writing, not just art, but, and building things with your hands, looking at how structures are made for, redefining those ideas, there's so many different ways that you can apply creativity in your day-to-day basis. What I do is I write and draw stories. That's an integral part of who I am. I've worked for years managing a bookstore. I raised a family, and now I've got grandkids that I'm engaged with half the time. But I used to try to have to balance my creativity time with my day-to-day responsibility time. And so for me, being able to do any creative work, it was really an outlet from the stressors of my day. So after the kids and my partner had gone to bed, I could do some stuff. I could do a little bit of creativity and work on some paintings or work on some drawings or fiddle around drawing comic books, sequential literature of some kind. I'm not necessarily a superhero guy. I have done superhero things, but I tend to do little stories that are anecdotal looks at the world, or little funny takes on how silly things can be in the world. So with ideas like that, as soon as those things in play, I mean, as soon as those responsibilities started becoming less, because as my kids got older, Janet says, "You're not a superhero." No, Janet, just tall. As my responsibilities lessened, because my kids were adults, becoming adults and moving out into the world and having, and getting married, and now one of them and her husband have kids of their own. And then as the house was, we had bought our house here in Canada, and, for me, the affordance of opportunity came in that I could spend more time doing the creativity aspect, because it's such a integral part of who I am. And it's something that I've always done. I've done 30 art shows in galleries. I've written and illustrated 32 books. I was doing all these things part-time, and part-time because I've got family, I've got work, and then I've got that outlet time. And so you're going to hear a lot of things about people saying, if you want to find a really great job, find a job that lets you do something you love. I'm going to say something against that. And the reason that I'm going to do that is because you're going to find things that you can enjoy. But if you do a thing that is you love, and it's something that you want to do all the time, in this context, let's say draw comic books, okay? Just as an example from some of the silliness that you see rotating around on the screen. If you do that, you have to be aware that you're going to have to do it as a professional. You're going to have to do it with something in mind, and that is, if you're trying to pay bills this way, there are things that you're going to need to be doing in the processes of your job that might not be the things that you want to do. Now, if you're very fortunate because somebody catches on to just honing in on the thing that you do, great. But the chances of that, they're kind of slim. But if you can find something creative to do, like I've been a production manager in a photo studio, I've done graphic design jobs, lots of those on the side. I've done lots of portrait work. Those are creative outputs that are facilitating my talents. But at the same time, would I choose to sit down and do portraits of many of the people that I would do on a regular basis? No, because it's not necessarily the specific thing that I want to do. I'm all over the place. I've done stand-up comedy. I've done I played in bands. I played a bunch of instruments. I built the second floor of our house. There's all these things that they're all doing something, creating some outlet, fabricating something, or telling some sort of story. So with all of those things, I still had to do a day job. But doing that day job has allowed me at a point in my life to say that now I have, between what I've accomplished and what the big goals that we've covered, and having a supportive partner, which is an absolute blessing, that understands this part of me, I have the ability to focus purely on just creating comic pages each day. And even that, I break up in a really scheduled way. And what I mean by a really scheduled way is, in the mornings I get up, and I'll get up 7, 8, 9 o'clock. I have a diabetes, type 1 diabetes, and so I have to maintain this through my day, and it helps me to schedule my day. In the mornings, anything I have to do for somebody else, or anything I need to do business-wise, I'm trying to do in the morning. Come lunchtime through into 2 o'clock, when we do the stream, I am doing fun projects like the daily image that I do, the daily comic that I do for everybody. there's ways to sit down and to break up my day in this way. So I've had lunch, then I get into the fun time, then we get into the stream time like we are doing right now, 2:00, and I usually do that for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then I have part of my day where I do household stuff and the day-to-day things we have in our lives. And then I have a few hours of spending time with my partner, and that's it. That when my partner goes to bed earlier than I do, then I have a parcel of time because I don't sleep an awful lot. So I have that parcel of time in my evening again to get back to those creative pursuits. And whether it's things I need to get done from the morning or finishing off the one-page comic that we do in our streams here, that's that time. And then I sleep like the other humans do, right? So even though I'm doing a really creative thing and I have creativity in my day-to-day life, you still have to look at it in some degree of responsibility. You still have to look at it in some measure of, if I want to do this thing, then I have to make sure that whatever this thing is, playing music or whatever, that I do it to the best of my abilities and that I do it with some way to pay for the things I need to pay for, and then some way to feed my own soul, right? A friend of mine, she works as a musician. And so as a musician, she teaches that it's not just playing in taverns and at festivals and things like that. She also teaches, and she teaches bass guitar, she teaches piano, and she teaches vocals. And then she has the facility to do those things when she plays either by herself or with groups, or people bring her in to play with them. All of those little different things are creative outlets. But the things about the teaching during the daytime and the playing with other bands, that's not necessarily the things that she wants to do. Those are the things that afford her the ability to do the creative output. So when it comes to assessing and looking at how it is that you want to find creativity in your life, if you want to be a writer, learn to write. And what I mean by learn to write is find out the foundations of writing. And I'm going to use writing as an example because this is an English class. If it's writing in English specifically, if it's writing in any other languages that are out there, that you're coming to understand, then learn the foundational rules. Like learn the basic rules of how to go about writing, and how to structure a story, or how to structure a thesis, or how to come together with some sort of perspective on what it is that you're trying to say. Okay? And if you're going to write. I'm a writer. What have you written? I wrote a poem when I was a teenager. That's not a writer. I love that you wrote a poem, but that's not a writer. Because if you want to do a thing, do the thing. Afford yourself that time, that creative momentary outlet in whatever way you can. If you're driving and you're just speaking and you have a recording device in your car, so as you're driving from A to B and you've got story ideas or anecdotes or little moments that happen in the course of your day that you would love to write, but you just don't have the time to do it, record those things on the way home. At some point, you can either hire a person to type those things out, or you yourself can sit down and go through that and write out the ideas. But engage in that some kind of creativity outlet, like engage in some kind of method, some sort of situation that allows you to exposit or to tell those ideas that you have. If it's making music and you've got a melody, record the melody you have in your head. If you don't give yourself an opportunity to pursue those things of interest, then it's never going to come together. That creative ambition, it's just not. It takes time. It takes habit. It takes all kinds of dedication for you to be able to have develop that specific skill set, for you to develop those abilities that are going to enable you to pursue your ambitions. You want to draw whatever you want to draw. I'm sorry, I'm not switching the slideshow, and I apologize. I'll talk about this in 2 seconds. I'm just going to wrap this part up. If you want to be able to draw whatever it is that you want to draw and use whatever tools that it is that you want to try, if you want to apply yourself, I forgot to turn one light on, and I'm sorry for that. If it's going to flood this, I apologize for that too. It should be okay. Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. I don't know. If you want to apply yourself to whatever the creative endeavor that you find interesting is, if you want to be able to draw the things you want to draw, play the music you want to play, sing the songs you want to sing, then allow yourself the hard work. It's a silly thing to say to some people because hard work is hard work. It's terrible. Nobody has an ambition. What do you want to do for the rest of your life? I want to work really hard. Just sweat it out. But if you do that, if you take the time to better yourself, to improve on the things that you're interested in, if you take the time to try new things, then you'll be able to develop and to be able to do the more and more things that you never would have thought. Is that too light? Is it too bright? I'll turn that off. Is that better? Sorry, guys. Okay, so, the bright backlight. Let me get that. You like my sign? Kids got me that. That's better. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with the lighting. I don't remember what I was saying for a second ago. But the point I'm getting to is this. What kind of time have I been blathering on for? All right. One more slideshow, I think. Yeah. Okay. So I draw with a whole bunch of different mediums. I draw with a whole bunch of different tools on a regular basis. Sorry for the flashing out again. I'm doing my best. I can gather this much sort of junk on my desk that I'm going to work with. And because of that, there's going to be more versatility and more. Did I freeze? I hope I didn't freeze. I think I froze. Uh-oh. That's not good. Can anybody hear me as I'm talking right now, or is it just completely froze? You got me monkeying around with bright lights. I froze. You can hear. Okay, well, just give me a second, and I'll just continue. All right. Well, the whole idea is the sort of stuff that I think that we'll get it. No? Smile, you're on Candy Camera. Okay, I think, yeah. All right, we got it. Okay. I wish I could read comics. These look so cool. Well, okay. I'm sorry. I tried to get it back. I think we're okay again. Okay, I apologize for that. I think it's because my stream's going, there's a lot of people here. I've developed an ability to draw with a whole bunch of different things. And that's because in the pursuit of trying to find the things that I want to draw with and to say the things I want to say and to do the things I want to do, I kept trying a whole bunch of different stuff. And so with trying a whole bunch of different stuff in mind, over time, I developed some ability to draw with these different things. Okay. It's the same for painting on canvas and board and things like that, and all tried to learn as much as I could and develop the skills that I do today. And so being able to go into places and here online and talk to people and show some examples with, whatever skills I might have to say, here's a way that you could try to learn how to do this. Here's a means that you could try to apply your story ideas or things like that in this way. Here's how to draw a pencil crayon. Here's how to draw a ballpoint pen to the best of my ability, right? That's kind of what I do. And at this point, we're putting together a number of these pages that I've had cycling through. We're putting together the next volume of one-page comic extravaganza. The copy I had of volume 1 is not anywhere near me right now. That's okay. It's on my website. It's on social media. So this will be the next volume of that. So, all right. That's the talk. That's the gist of things. I hope this helps everybody out. I look forward to seeing what you guys might have to do. Link up with me here. If you've got stuff you want to show, please feel free to do it. I'm trying to keep up with stuff. I can't read the print. Okay, Chris says, thank you all. I'll ask the students to reflect on this. I wish we could stay longer, but there's other things they need to do. It's very nice to meet everybody. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And we'll talk soon. In the meantime, why don't we go on and do the thing we normally do here on the stream. I'm going to cut down some of these slideshows because these were fun, but these were fun examples to show the young people. But excellent. Thank you very much, everybody, for those that have come out and jumped in. Oh, Chris says thank you. No, I'm trying to keep up with the stream now. Thank you very much, Chris. This was a fun opportunity to chat with people. And I hope that some of the things I've said help out. I'm going to have to go through this whole chat and read some of the things. If you give me ideas, I'll have to write those down. But okay, thanks very much, gang. All right, so I've got the book out. For those of us, so that's hopefully the chat is going to help Chris and her students about creativity, and anybody else that joined in. I don't know if the things I had to say help you out as well. I hope they do. Just the ruminations of a different kind of mind, right? That's being generous to myself when I say that. All right. You guys did really good behaving yourselves, too. You did your best. Anyways, I don't know what you guys are talking about while I was going on. There's X amount of things I can keep track of. But I hope that, yeah. All right. Okay. Somebody says, don't forget drugs are great. Okay. There we go. All right. So, like I said, I will go through this chat afterwards and try to find some, because I noticed a couple ideas pop up, and I will be going back and checking on those and writing them in the book. So, excellent. And I appreciate everybody for coming out and hanging out. Is it I don't think it's frozen again. Maybe it's just you at this point, Rachel. I think we're okay. It's just I wasn't doing anything with my hands for a few minutes, maybe. But we're still here. So I got a bunch of junk out, and I've got all kinds of crazy ideas for this junk, and all kinds of crazy messages coming from one of my kids. Thank you very much, Robert. All right. Okay. So we got the book out. We got a bunch of ideas. Before I get too much further, here's yesterday's page that we drew during the stream. And I'm going to move this goofy guy over. There he goes. All right. And this is our page yesterday. This is Norman Fell from Three's Company. Yeah, that reference isn't going to be for everybody, but for people, my age and older, you'll get it. These are all Norman Fell, going to a punk show and skipping, because sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes that's what happens. The suggestion was mosh pit jump ropers, and I think the intention was the guys who jump into the mosh pit, the dance pit from the stage. But I heard in my head jump rope and Mr. Roper. So that's why I drew this page the way I did. It's a scary place up in there. But this is what I'm talking about when I talk about imagination. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Didi, and for everybody for the nice things that you've also said throughout the stream. It's very sweet of you. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about imagination and openness, receptiveness to ideas. One of the reasons that I can turn left a lot and when I'm thinking about when I'm generating ideas for doing pages is because I sit down for a second and just think about the different parts of a thing, or the different, like in this case, the different behaviors of geese. Canada geese, Canadian geese, Canuck geese. There we go. Everybody's covered. So with that in mind, and thinking about how color works and thinking about different ways I can make lines and marks on paper in order to simulate other things, all of those little parts of making a drawing is stuff that you develop over time and you stay open to and receptive to, and then you develop the ability to apply it. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense for folks. This is going to be tomorrow's page. This is the other page that I've got done that we've got scanned and we'll be popping that out this week as well. But I wanted to, in case I didn't have the opportunity to sit down and do a page, because I wasn't sure if there's going to be, I didn't really leave a question period for those students, because I just kept going. But that's okay. That gives them the opportunity to go and do stuff and whatever works for them. And I appreciate Chris bringing them to me. Rachel says it's the same as the 3 prompts. Yeah, 3 prompts is something that Didi, for those that don't know Didi, she does, and you really should go to Didi Willingham's stream Mondays and Wednesday mornings. She has a bag where she has sat down and wrote a word on little pieces of paper and thrown them into a giant bag. And if you ask her to, she will pull 3 of these things out of a giant bag for you. And the last one that I did was this one. And this is Emu, cartoon character, and manta ray. How does that work in this context, Christopher? Boy, am I glad you asked. I just decided while drawing the emu that I wanted to put him in a spacesuit. And then I have these 2 people reflecting on the fact that they have to watch the emu's favorite television show. I don't know why that came to mind. It just did. Why the 3 of them are watching him this whatever the cartoon show is in space, but they are, and why it happens to be Marvin the Martian, and he's using his manta rays, right? So get it? Rays, space rays, ray beams. Anyways, so you can take whatever ideas come across and throw all that stuff together and allow yourself to apply it to whatever. There's no hard and fast rules that say it might be my favorite term today. Space emu. Oh, that's very nice of you, Tori. Thank you. That Rachel. Thanks, guys. So when you look at whatever an idea is, when you've got 3 words, okay, there we go. Rachel just said it. Everybody that sits down with the same 3 words, if everybody is authentically them, and what I mean by that is if everybody is tapping into their own experiences and the things that they notice in the world, and that openness to take in whatever ideas and things, there is not going to be the same product, the same images that are going to come out of all of these different people. So all 3 of them are going to do the same 3 words in completely different ways. Whether it's, if everybody has to draw on a piece of paper, all of those drawings are going to be different, because that's what it is to tap into your creativity. Now, I'm really fortunate that if Norman Fell, is Norman Fell one of the astronauts? And if not, why not? Because Norman Fell did not dawn on me until 2 days later when somebody suggested mosh pit jump ropers. Because Chris's logic is, at best, you could describe it as transient, just all over the place. Anyways, the whole fun thing about three different words as interpreted by all these different people, even if they have the same tools and the same surfaces to work on, they're going to be different. They're going to be authentic and unique. And because I find, and this is what I was getting to, I find myself to be really blessed, really quite fortunate that there are so many fantastically creative and cool people that I've come to know doing these streams, and many of which come here and on a regular basis with this weirdness, and we engage together and we spitball ideas together, because that's really what it is when people are throwing one-page ideas at me. Even if somebody suggests one-page comic idea, whether it's a couple of sentences, whether it's just a term, whether it's 3 words, whatever it is, there's a fun thing that happens, like is happening in the stream chat right now, where people riff on that and people go off on that. Dee Dee joined me on the stream one day, and she was doing a portrait of Fred Rogers, and I was doing a 3-prompt page of a ladybug, a cowboy, and a lizard. And I just happened, because the ladybugs are red, as she's drawing Fred Rogers in a red sweater, I'm drawing the ladybug as Mr. Rogers. And the text that I'm writing for the page, the ladybug is Mr. Rogers. And I said, well, isn't it nice to meet a special friend today? And the lizard has nothing to say that's comprehensive to the ladybug, because they speak lizard or ladybug. And so we're looking at it from the narration of the ladybug's perspective and the ladybug's Fred Rogers. But that stuff doesn't happen unless somebody had, I can't remember who it was, and I apologize for that, but somebody had said, do the ladybug as Mr. Rogers. Actually, I think they said do the lizard as Mr. Rogers, but I thought the ladybug was more appropriate. So, okay, what do we got? I'm going to try to stay a little more attentive here, and I apologize. Rachel loved the manta rays. Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Kat, that's really nice of you to say. Down on him. Astronauts, get it? I'm catching up, Rachel. Have you also done art on Pantone cards? So my expectation is that the Pantone cards that Dee Dee has sent out, mine will get here tomorrow. They just didn't arrive today, but they'll probably arrive tomorrow, because that's usually about the amount of days that stuff coming up from the States gets here to me. Because it has to, this is what I think is the system. Anybody in the southern states, it has to go through California and then come up here. I don't know why, it just does. But I will be incorporating the Pantone card that comes, and I think it's a nice olive green, into a mixed media page. And there are also stickers that are coming from Dee Dee of her lemur. So we're going to be using the Pantone card and the Dee Dee's lemur sticker, and do a sushi submarine lemur 3-prompt page. So I will be doing one of the Pantone pieces, but it's waiting on that. So I'm patiently waiting. I hope that's all right with folks. But Raul says I've seen a lot of amazing art pieces online. Oh, Janice drawings are amazing on the scarves. That's absolutely true. Dee Dee showed a bunch of those this morning, and there's a whole bunch of cool stuff that people are doing with that. If you have the opportunity to allow yourself the availability to try different colored paper and draw on that there's an amazing affordance of different perspectives that you might not have been able to discover unless you do that. Like this is deep purple, deep mauve piece of it's this cardstock and more construction, like thick construction paper. And I've got a white pencil in my hand, because when I make marks on this, and you're drawing in reverse, so that rather than drawing the lines around the nose, you're drawing how the light values Just I'll pull my hand away so you can see this because I'm not being very accommodating with the camera. But as I sit down and I draw these surfaces and I look at them from this perspective of how light bounces off the skin, and as I build that up, and then I'll come in with other tools that give her more crisp, I've already given away, it's going to be a lady, that give more crisp whites than the initial pencil that I'm using do. And then as I go on further, then I'll come in again with other tools that, pull that white out a little bit more. This is no different than chiaroscuro. Chiaroscuro was, of course, everybody recognizes Caravaggio's paintings and how they seem to have people pulling out from darkness. He would use a dark ground and then paint the light on top of it. He would paint things in very thin layers in places and bring the surface forward. And that's no different than drawing with white pencils on a dark surface. But to be able to do this today, and having drawn on with markers on white paper yesterday, it's just sort of staying open and receptive to things. And there's a big community here, and everybody does these all of us do things that others do. And I think that's an awful lot of fun, because if you come at creativity and art two different ways, you're going to get two very, very different results. If you come at creativity and art and looking how other people are doing it and see it as a competition, that person is better or worse than I am, in whatever your scale is, then I think that's kind of unfulfilling, because you're always going to feel less than somebody else. You might feel better than somebody else momentarily, but you're always going to feel less than somebody else. If you look at art and other and creativity in general and creative people around you, and look at it for what it is and what they're doing and what their journey is, and look at everything that you see and try to pull something out of it. I love children's drawings. I love them. I absolutely love stick figure drawings. There's just something in those that it's the meat in your dish without any of the side dishes at all. There's just a simplicity to that is blunt. It's very much like a blunt tool. Oh, this is fun. Kat says chiaroscuro is almost as fun a word as gouache, and congratulations on the spelling. That's always been a nightmare one for spelling. Every piece of art is a new challenge to imagination and creativity. Right on. Every piece should be. You should allow yourself to vehicle those things out. Is that a pregnancy testing kit on the far right of all those supplies? That is a palette knife. That is a far removed potentiality in the life of Christopher at this point, folks. There's no chance of that. But thank you for asking. Robert says, I'm a Leo. I'm better than everyone at everything, even things I don't know about yet. Yeah, that sounds like a Leo thing. I thought it was a Virgo thing. See, now we're comparing horoscopes here. There we go. Here we go. I have a friend who does leather work, and he's really good at it. And when he sits down and does things and creates things, I find it really fascinating. And the reason that I find it really fascinating is because it's something, A, that I haven't taken on, but B, it's such a different expressive skill set. And it's one where there's a whole different set of rules and there's a whole different set of application. And I respect that, right? So much. But the end result of these things is always nice. It's always really interesting and well done. So Robert says, oh my God, you're expecting? Can I be an auntie? We just realized the mortality of our cats yesterday. This is if you want to get heavy on that front. Corbin, my little my young little guy who's sleeping upstairs right now. I made sure to feed them just before the stream so they sleep. He's going to be 12 in a week or two. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Our cats are getting older. What are we going to do without cats? So tears are running down your face. That's a great misspelling. So some of us, Barbara says, some of us crafters repurpose everything. Yeah, absolutely. To the disruption of everyone around us, right? There's a thing about there's this thing that does it turns a dial inside my head and turns a completely separate dial inside my partner's head, my wife's head. And the reason for that is that I see things and I go, oh, I could do X, Y, Z with that. And she thinks and goes, that should go into recycling. It's as simple as that. It's very different viewpoints. We drive on the highway and I look at the bones and I look at the once evident beauty of these lovely farmhouses and Victorian homes. And the maker in me sees me refurbishing it. And the practicality of my wife looks at it and goes, that place is looking really rough. That's the difference of a creator mindset. It's hard to explain to other humans. That was definitely a typo. Rachel says, get more cats. And Robert says, get more cats. There's always more cats. Some of them are on crazy meds, apparently. Yeah, it's baby. Jane says, are you sure about that? 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Nice. Well done. Yeah, so I think I like your wife. Yeah, probably. Yeah, she also likes when I use brillers. Yeah, there's... it's not so much that you're bringing junk into the house. It's not so much that you're bringing that into the house. It's that you're bringing potential things to use, right? It's you're bringing things that you are going to help you facilitate something else. To the extent that I have beside my desk here this little box, and in this little box is pieces of wood that I'm going to make wood blocks out of to do some printing with. I've got pieces of linoleum here, and I will be doing stamps out of those, like I did the monkey man card that I sent to somebody. This is different kinds of paper. These are tiny little sheets of thin watercolor paper, blue lined paper, little dotted paper, right? This is more watercolor paper that I've done some fiddling about with mixed media on. And then when you look in here, when I take out my Michael Jackson drawing glove and my eyeglass cleaner, it's all kinds of little bits and scraps. And the reason it's all kinds of little bits and scraps is when I do my thing where I put tape or paper on a surface, this is what I'm saving stuff for. It's not this over voluminous amount of material. But I've got a unit over here in my studio that's all kinds of different papers and tissue papers and vellum papers and all kinds of different things like that, neatly arranged on this shelf. That's my containment. I've got to contain myself, because to me, if I don't, then the ideas overwhelm you, the possibilities overwhelm you, and I don't get stuff done. So just having this affordance of opportunity in a little. This is a lid from a unit that I keep my ink in, and that's it. That's what I keep aside for the immediacy of having small bits and bobs of paper to utilize in images. And I've shown examples of that in numerous streams when I'm doing mixed media stuff, and I can do that again. In fact, when the Pantone card and stickers come in the mail from the mail I'm expecting to arrive tomorrow or Friday, either one, I'm fluid. I will be incorporating those into that day's one-page comic. So stay tuned. You'll see all that stuff coming together there. Okay, so what do we got? Corbin bit me once. Corbin does not bite. If he does, it's love bites. It's baby. Baby would bite you, and you know about it. Focus, my failing. So it's mine too. And a really strange, I know that it might look like I'm highly routined and highly scheduled. And my turnover output is pretty driven. But I have a problem with focus. And so I have found a real comfort in being able to do a one-page comic a day because it's one page. It's a one-page anecdotal piece of story or single joke or thought, and because of that, because of all that, I'm able to do X amount of those. And from time to time, I'll stretch my legs, 2 pages, 4 pages, 6 pages. And that's great. But at the same time, like in the morning, I'm working on long form pieces of a minimum of 24 pages. And that takes longer. And the reason it takes longer is there has to be a uniformity for those 24 pages. They have to be the same. I jump all over town for the one-page comics, different media, different approaches, different narration styles, different perspectives, for second thirds, right? And I can't do that in the long form projects. So because I have a challenge with focus and sitting down to apply myself in that way, I know how much I can do it for. And, that's why the morning time. If I was to specifically set myself up to do that all day long, I would be less productive and I would feel less fulfilled. I feel incredibly fulfilled over the last so many months. And it's because I figured out this different working dynamic. But if you have focus challenges, allow yourself to jump from A to B to C. Allow yourself to jump from this container of tools to this container of tools, which are very different things, to this container of who's it's and what's nots, none of which are pregnancy tests. They just look like it. It's a portable toothbrush container. And this container of tools. And so when you start allowing yourself all these different materials to use and different approaches to do, then when you collect all those together, as diverse as they might be, when you collect all that together, if there's one unifying factor, like say pages from an alphabetery, it's short steps make a long walk. Everybody, Robert has a scar in the shape of the Turin Shroud. Thank you, Robert. Sounds like, okay. I came in, I got called. Bossus interruptus. Bossus interruptus is absolutely a wonderful term. Barbara says, 16 watching, only 9 thumbs up. Hey, I appreciate people joining in for me and my pregnancy testing kit. Yeah. Rachel keeps a folder. Maybe other people have some ideas they want to share and toss around with each other here. I go through it every morning with the purpose of clearing at least one item from the folder. Counted today, 3 more pieces. Thanks, Dee Dee. My morning starts at noon unless Dee Dee's on. When I say the morning, that's my routine. That's my schedule. And my schedule tends to go from 7, 8, or 9 in the morning until about 2 a.m. in the morning. That's just my schedule. And the reason it's my schedule is that I have always slept 4 to 6 hours a night, right? Is that normal? No. Is it healthy? Probably not. Is it how I've always been? Yep. As I'm older and I'm taking medication for my illness, I sleep 6 hours a night. And that's great. That's fantastic. I mean, that's a lot of sleep for me, which sounds ridiculous, but part of my interestingness might be the fact that I don't sleep the same amount as others do. So allow yourself to work within your parameter. And if your time is X amount of time, then facilitate that time in the fullness and richness of your life. So that's why I say things like using your imagination as you're walking as a creative endeavor. Recording things into your phone or into a microphone or some other recording device. Yeah, tick-tick. Oh, yeah. There's a reference for old people right there. Hey? Press the button, 2 buttons together. You know what I'm talking about if you're old enough. Huh? Play and record. Okay, so here's my, yeah. Yeah, that's how we used to record things. You know, whatever your time is and whatever your affordance because of physical challenges and differences that we all have. I mean, there's no absolute right or wrong way. There's no, well, this is the way to do it. It's not. There's no rules like that. I firmly attest to that. If you work on whatever the thing you work on in whatever amount of time that you can do it, that's yours and that counts. Janet says, I missed the wrong one. I'm so sorry. I'll catch up again. No sleep. Holy cow. I would definitely kill people. Janet, stop that killing people. The cat says, a couple times I got up early on Saturday to see what Paul was wearing. It only shows from the waist up. Hat or pants, CMP. It's always a hat. It's always a hat. And when I talked to him one time, it's either on this stream or on his stream, he's only got like 7, 8 hats. 7 or 8 hats. That's all he's got. Then you would think that man has 50. If you get a chance, check out Paul Pate's Saturday morning cartoon streams on Saturday mornings. I don't know if he's going to have one this weekend because this weekend he's in Los Angeles and he's going to try to hook up with some of the guys living out in the South. So, could you walk to the left? I'm not picking up your voice. Okay, now bend down a bit. Oh yeah, that's exactly how video recorders used to work. These wonderful situations where you're leaning like this, going, "Hi, welcome to the family reunion." Yeah. It says, I need sleep, my friend. Everybody needs sleep. It's I will, if I'm having a big day, and my wife would attest to this, if I'm having a big day, she'll come down and I'll be sitting in the studio with my feet up on Corbin's chair or in one of the, he's got 2 holes and then his perch, and I'll have one of my feet in the hole or and leaning back in my chair, sleeping in my chair in my studio. Or if I make the mistake of sitting on the couch that's in my studio, Chris is having a brief nap. So, yeah. Barbara says, I don't look good in orange, therefore I don't kill people. No, but is it the orange or is it the jumpers? Not everybody can wear jumpers. Rachel thinks that Paul's wife dyes his hats for fun. Maybe it's the same hat and he just rotates it with different colors. Jane says, I was awake at 4:30 a.m. this morning. So was I. I had a visitor come into my bed this morning and climb directly into my face and meow at the top of his lungs. He's not here right now. He's lucky for that. So Jenna says, I look good in everything, so killing is always an option. This is why we're worried every time you go to Walmart. Okay, so yeah, so if people have different methods and things and approaches that work for them, and I think it's great to share those ideas and those notions with one another and say, well, I've done this. Have you ever tried this? But like I said earlier, there's no hard, fast rules if this is the right way or this is the wrong way. I think that when people, I really dislike those commercials or those videos. A lot, and I say commercials because there's a lot of these, and those, but usually bent around finances. And then there's these tutorials, these streams or these videos that people do on YouTube, the interwebs, where this is the way to have success. This is the way. These are the 10 steps for you to make it. This is the 5 ways for you to get rich. You know, they're not real. They don't work. they don't work. How it works for me and the things that I'm doing in the creative. I'm drawing Mrs. Roper, by the way. The creative path that I'm on, it's not going to work for you. It's there's elements of what I'm doing and how that somebody else can apply to what they're doing, but it's not the same. It's not going to be the same because there's situational differences. There's all kinds of stuff that that I'm doing in my life, that I have gone through in my life, that are fully different experiences than what you've done in your life. And you know, that's the stuff that when you mix all that the stuff up in the broth, that's what makes up me, and the wherefore and why of how this happens, you know. But there's experiences that you've gone through and worked through, and you can feed upon creatively and do wholly different things that I couldn't. So what am I missing? I've got to keep up here. We should have surprise streams. I like surprise streams, but I do 5 a week. So I'll do the occasional one, but it's really dependent on situation, right? Jane says it wasn't a cat though, it was just me. I need, yeah. So we need sleep, you know, we all need sleep. But yeah, if you wake up at 4:30, you're up at 4:30. I hope you told Paul to leave right after me on your face this morning at 4. It wasn't Paul. He was already on his way to LA. It was definitely Corbin. Where's Chris's con artist friends? I hope I haven't scared many more of them. Scored more of them away. I don't really have many con artist friends, that's for sure. I feel really blessed with the friends I got. I love that idea. Yeah, nice. CP is full Gins, full agenda. Yeah. Oh yeah. See what you've done. See what you did. You give some people just a little opening, and they're gonna go for it. You know, just something's gonna leak out. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. Give it a minute. It'll set in. Just let it soak in. Oh, this is bad. This is all terrible. All right, so I'm drawing Mrs. Roper right now, and I am clearly depicting her as all hair. So you just have to tell yourself that. Other people may not think I look good, but I don't care. So, oh well, there you go. I don't know. I tend not to think too much about how I look. I got my own weird little things that I do on a regular basis. You know, that is my sort of form of armor, right? We all have ways that we armor ourselves and how we look, but I do this weirdness here all the time about getting bald. It's not because it's not so much I'm losing my hair as it is you know, I lose my glasses all the time. And with this whole receding hairline, hey, these sit here great. Now I know where they are. And the distance that I draw from myself when I'm sitting upright because of my size, it's 3 feet. And that's the sweet spot for how my bifocals don't work. That's the too close or anything closer than that, it's focused, and anything farther than that gets into focus. But that's the sweet spot. So I keep them off. So that's why you'll see me move forward or backwards sometimes to try to put, you know, my drawings in just a little bit more focus. But yeah, we're all getting older. But don't worry. The government's not going to change retirement age to 84 for a few more years. Appearance is only skin deep unless you have really deep wrinkles. Well, then appearance is only skin deeper. Ooh, you should shave. Do it now when Lori's at work. She'll love it. I did shave today. What are you talking about? This, I don't shave. I leave this. This is my only gray. So this is the part that tells people, God, that guy's old. Yeah. All right, so here's Mrs. Roper. I'm using a color erase white pencil crayon, or white drawing pencil. And it's got a really sharp lead. Like it's a much harder lead than you would expect. And I find it somewhat faint. When you use a regular pencil crayon, you can see that there's much more thickness in the value as it goes down. And or do you mean, Robert? Did you mean shave my head? You meant shave my head. I'm not shaving my head. His goatee advises others that he is mature. I wouldn't go that far, or at least overripe. Okay, that's true. Somebody in this room is ripe. So you can see how this different kind of pencil, and this is a Laurentian, I think, a Laurentian colored pencil crayon, however you call it. And but the opacity of it is much nicer. It's also much more granular, right? That's the sort of trade-off. I find that the softer things are, the more granulation you're going to get out of them. The harder things are, the more crispness you're going to get, but it's also sharper, which means you could damage your surface depending on how hard it is. And then you get rando things like this. This is a full lead pencil. So it's got, I'll pull it out of the holder. It's got a thin layer of lacquer around it in order to print off the things and the serial numbers for us to make some monies. But it's just colored lead. And I find these really fun because they're almost like a perfect intermediate. Not too soft, not too hard. They operate to be more like a 2B colored pencil. So it's raining again where you are, Rachel. Oh, that's not great. That means it's coming to me next. I wouldn't worry about losing your hair. She finds the bald look hot. You can say that all you like. I'm not shaving my head. If it is Laurentian, it is definitely a pencil crayon. Yeah, that's what we call it in Canada. That's the. Hey, do we have to say King's English in Canada now? Is it King's English? Is that what we're doing now? Because it's we're part of the Commonwealth and we have a king again instead of the queen. Yeah, I've been calling it Queen's English my whole life. I know it is NF. Could you please lower the volume? That song, It's Raining Men, is really obnoxious. I spelled Bob Noxious as opposed to how someone spells tears. Bob Noxious is from London. So we say Bob Noxious a little more often than we should. I haven't had lead in my pencil for years. Age again. You can get a new one these days. Yeah, you can go in to specialty shops, and they'll sort that out for you. Do you remember school? Everyone had a Crayola box of 64 with a sharpener. I had Laurentian. Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's that reference to? Oh, yeah. If it's Laurentian, it's definitely a pencil crayon. Not too soft, not too hard. If it is, we are likely failing the king. Well, so your highness. Oh no! I guess sold me a pump. It looks suspiciously like cardio. A friend of mine. This is years and years ago. Not so much a friend, but a person I knew years and years ago. Because after you see him in you meet a whole bunch of people when your children are babies, and then as the kids grow up and everybody moves away from each other, you never see these people again. But there was a lady that, as they're all new moms, there's one lady that we knew said the exact same thing. She's like, she's supposed to express milk in the evening for her child, but it just feels way too much like cardio for her. And that is such a great reference. Laurentians are gold now. They discontinued in 2012 on eBay. They're huge dollars. I have an entire tray about this thick of all Laurentian pencils. Because the thing is that when you go through your pencil sets, you're going to use certain colors more often than others, and so you end up buying more pencil crayons, and so you end up getting this collection going of colored pencils that you get a lot of these random colors in here, but not a lot. Where's the red, right? So I have a tray of Laurentians. It's about this thick of Laurentian pencils, and the tray is well, I'll show you. It's here it is, and it's got a good thing going in it. It's nice and dense and thick, and lots of pencils, lots and lots of our good old pal. This is what we're referring to, everybody, Laurentians. So yeah, you have to treasure those like gold. I'm in trouble deep. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Levan. I'd like to check the thrift stores. Better pencils can be found. I think that there are all kinds of different tools, and there's all kinds of different things that you're going to get out of different tools. There's all kinds of, this pencil set has this type of a lead, like I'm referring to about the differences here. This pencil set is that type of lead. This is a really nice, lovely range of colors in this set. This is a really, really good feel because the pencils are triangular, and for some reason that associates with your grip in your hand better. There's so many differences in pencil sets, and you end up developing a collection of them. Most people tend not to have just 12 colored pencils. If you're a creative type that colors somewhat regularly with pencils, you tend to have a range. That's it's just how the beast works. I try to keep my stuff all organized, but I don't differentiate pencil crayons from one another, except for those sets that I got recently, because the triangular ones, I'm weird enough that the triangular pencils and the circular pencils in the same box bug me. But I've got 2 sets of those triangular pencils because of the exact reason we talked about. So, but yeah, experiment on paper with whatever drawing tools you're using, and if you want to find the benefits of, the sharpness of this, and you can even hear it in the lead, right? And the sharpness of this line as opposed to the muted sound of this one, because it's so soft when it goes down, it makes far less noise. The muffin tins? Yeah. Where are we? What? Hey, Jim. Barbara says, I've melted my crayons in muffin tins. It's a wonderful size for the preschooler's first entry to art supplies. Yeah. Why not? Why not? It's a great shape. And it's something they can hold on to, tactile in their hands, right? We don't think about this enough. This is the thing I talk about with creative imagination, is that you'll think about the tactile sensation of how to utilize the tool or how to facilitate building or structuring something because of the feels. And you only get that from looking. Cheaper special paper products too. Oh yeah, you can find all kinds of stuff at dollar stores and bargain stores like Canada. We have Giant Tiger, is a chain of stores. Joshua Kemple's joined us. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kremlinator. If you watch Joshua Kemple's stream, you'll realize that you've joined the Kremlin. I have about 10 root beer mugs full, plus 6 tin sets. That is a fair amount. But you use that fair amount, so you use them well. So muffin tins taste so much better with that wax icing. Yeah, there we go, Rachel. I would definitely sell my soul for a set of whole beans. I've never tried whole beans. Are they that good as a pencil? And does the how good they are justify the cost? Because I don't know if you figured out yet, I am the world's cheapest man. That's the thing about AI art. You don't need pencils. Think of the environment, people. Yeah, think about all those computer hard drives and stuff that are being produced to create those AIs. Robert? I'm thinking of the environment using recycled art materials. Oh, snap. Dividing line. AI. I like AI, right? But it isn't environmental. Recycle and reuse. Oh, yeah, look out. You save on paper and paste. Paste, probably. That's alliteration, y'all. Now, I don't know. Whatever works for you. Use whatever. Have you ever tried painting on plastic? I know this is a random thing, but I realize I prefer to paint on board or any flat surface I can find at this point, and over canvas. I've done enough with canvas that at this point in time, I like the texture, the flat, hard wood or plastic or whatever texture, metal texture. It's different, but trying different surfaces and different things to work on is super cool. I know you guys, we're all having fun and stuff like that, and I keep making it serious, but that's what I do. A&W's Canadian fast food place, known for the root beer and special mugs. Is that what you keep yours in? Is a Canadian is A&W mugs? I respect that. I love those mugs. I love the gigantic mug. They have them frosted in a refrigerator when you eat there. But the food not so healthy. But I like Crayola crayons. This is in reference to the Holben comment. Board is the best, Joshua says. MDF rocks. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. I have a vintage A&W mini mug somewhere. Should look for it. Yeah, they're great. You can keep little things in those suckers. They're really durable. They're very strong. Dee Dee says I liked toned tan cardstock. You talked about that earlier today. There's different cardstock papers that you can get. Now you can go to, I guess in the States it would be Hobby Lobby. In Canada it'd be places like Michael's. Michael's is probably in the States too. But there's no Hobby Lobbies that I've ever seen here. But so they're commensurate in price, but you can find at Walmart a diverse range of different cardstocks that are actually really good. And they're really good. And the acid count content on those is not as high as, it should be. Robert says, I own a picture of a motorcycle. Yes, indeedly do. I do. Strathmore. You like Strathmore? D recommends Strathmore. Strathmore again. There we go. Josh, the beat medium is the one that works for you. The best medium is the one that works for you, I believe. Great to try out new, but usually return to a favorite. Yeah. Snobby lobby, Barbara says. I tend to do the translations as best I can. Jenna says, I prefer hoblob like my spirit animal. There you go. Denise is your spirit animal? That's great. Yeah, I don't think Barbara likes the snobby lobby. There's a place in London here called Bijan's. He's got some real fun stuff, and I try to support him whenever I can, whenever it's easy to get to his place. But if there's remotely any construction near where his place is, just off Richmond Street, I'm going elsewhere because I'm just burnt out of downtown traffic here in London, and Richmond's right in the center of London. So I'll go to like Michael's. But in St. Thomas, there's a place called the Craft Hive on Talbot Street, and that place is just like Bijan's. It has got such amazing diverse selection. And then where were we? Above Ground Art Supply, I think it was called. One of our Canadian people could correct me on this. In Toronto is where I went and picked up a whole bunch of this different stuff when I was in TO for Lori's conference last week. So there's I would prefer those types of stores over chain stores just because I am still resisting the idea of monopoly. And I'm, if the problem with places like Hobby Lobby, I don't know Hobby Lobby specifically, so let me change that. The problem with places like Michael's is that when they think something doesn't sell, they don't carry it. So for me to find lino cutters and pieces of linoleum, I had to go to one of these smaller shops because Michael sees that as an outmoded set of tools and services to work on. And screen printing, they'll sell inks, but because it's easy to afford on their shelves, but they don't sell the other stuff at Michael's anymore for screen printing, at least here. They used to sell frames the whole bit back in the day, but you know what I mean. So everybody's got cool stores near them. Independent art supply stores, you betcha. Mixed media, you do your mixed media on cardstock? Do you Strathmore tone sketch or specifically a cardstock? Joshua Campbell says, if you're going to Snobby Hobby Lobby, you need a manager named Bobby. I am Bobby. Welcome to Snobby Hobby Lobby. What do you do your portraits on? There's your answer there. Strathmore Mixed Adina cardstock. I've never been good at remembering all the specific. Well, this thing that I'm using here is a Laurentian, erasable pencil. Well, I read it, right? But other than that, it's a color erase pencil. Don't know brands or stuff. Buy locally whenever you can. Small business is the backbone of both of our countries. Joshua says the Art Supply Warehouse. Is that where you go? Is that in California? Cat's got the blue in that type of paper. Josh Kimball says that's easily the best art store. Yeah, Josh, if you go to Toronto again for a convention or whatever it might be, please go to Above Ground Art Supply. It's an old double Victorian. It's a split estate house, right? And both buildings, through all 3 floors, completely stocked with everything under the sun you could think of. If I tried a flooring store yet? Oh no, I got everything I need now. I found it all at the Craft Hive in St. Thomas. Random question of the day. Here we go. Jim Luhan is in attendance, folks. Random question of the day 296. What's the name of your local supermarket? Either chain or mom and pop? Josh says that the art supply store he's referring to is still mom and pop owned. You gotta love that. Well, that's the same thing with Above Ground. It's an independent. Michael's is basically the only show in town in Niagara. They underpriced the good shops here. It stinks. That's too bad. Dee Dee likes the tanned cardstock best for portraits. For Janet, there's a store called Littlefields or Harps. Is this the grocery store or an art supply store? Publix. Publix, really? That's a neat name. And yeah, that's sad about how when chain stores take out independents. Purple Building? Which is a purple building? Is it the store? I like Blix. See, you guys got some neat names. I think the Canadian stores like Zellers, and Woolworths, and Eaton's, and Simpsons, it's your Canadian department stores. And, they're all just like family-started things. What do we have downtown London forever? They just finally closed up shop after 4 generations. But there was an independent department store in downtown London. And it was Premier. There were very fine items in it. I can't remember the name of it for right now, but even our grocery stores are, now we're getting hip. The A&P, now they call that Metro. So we're up to 6 local cannabis stores right now. You must live within 3 square blocks of any 3 square blocks in London, Ontario. Because that's what we got here. I know you don't get it. You know. Hobby Lobby is 3 miles from my house. Above ground is just a fascinating place besides the art supplies. But I go for the art supplies, not the scenery. Well, no. Yeah, people lurking. Hobby Lobby being 3 miles from Dee Dee's house, technically with the amount of art supplies that she has at home, that makes her studio an annex because it's so close. M&B and Virgil. Is there groceries that we're naming? There are hundreds. They stay open about a month. Oh, is this the cannabis shops? Yeah. The grow operations stay open about a month in Canada, in Ontario, because they had so many and only so many licenses. For some art supplies, the dollar store is close to me. The 2 E's are burnt out. Oh my. So it's He Dollar Store. No, I guess the R's still there. We have, where we live, this is accommodating. This is just too accommodating. This is at Northland Mall at Huron and Highbury in London, Ontario. There's a dollar store beside a Giant Tiger. Okay, so Giant Tiger is like a really small poor man's Walmart, right? Like it's one of those intermediate between a dollar store and a department, like in a Walmart. So we got a dollar store, Giant Tiger, Walmart, and another dollar store. Those are around this corner. Timothy Eaton. Yep, Eaton's. There's a Purple Victorian in Toronto. It had a rad art supply variety. That's the one. You've been there. That place is rad. That place, if you take the time to walk through the whole thing, it's amazing. You have a town of 20,000 people and 6 cannabis shops. That's nuts. That's nuts. London is 425,000 now. Oh, yeah, cannabis shops can't stay open because of that. That's for sure. Dollar Tree. Yours is called Dollar Tree. Okay. 37 cannabis shops for 330,000 people. That's yeah, probably sounds about right. That's a Canadian thing. The Dollar Tree nearby has 2 burnt out E's. All right, so I'm drawing the page that I'm going to work on and get finished for tomorrow is a page suggested by the Kremlinator. I'll write it down on a post-it. But today's page is, I got 600 writing implements beside me. A snowflake with hands on every arm. And it's a cool suggestion, but I think I know what you mean. That's not what's happening. Yeah, there you go. So that's the page that I'm working on today. It's about a snowflake who's got hands on every arm. All I know, now I'm going to say this with the attention it deserves. All I know is that cave people painted on walls with charcoal, and people still get excited about it. They didn't need fancy gold pencils. That's because it involved more digging. It's there's a funny thing about one of my favorite parts about cave paintings is everyone I've ever known that had intended to go and look at the cave paintings when they were in Europe. Every single one of them said you had to go down into the ground in this cave to see them. And I'm like, forget that. Every single one of them. Cave paintings. I'm just saying. Cave paintings. It's a dramatic shortage of caves these days. A drastic shortage. Call that tagging now, Robert. There you go. Usually it's on trains. They're a lot easier to get a hold of than caves. All the portraits I showed today are either on Strathmore toned tan paper or cardstock. Yes, indeed. This, like I said, is like a construction paper, but a thick, very thick construction paper. But maybe it's considered cardstock, but the graininess of it is more to me like construction paper. I think that's how my brain separates the two. I don't know what the specific separation is for what classifies as which one. If anybody does know that, educate me. Yeah, I don't know what the difference really is to be made of that. You know, but you know, we call pencils different things here, and you know, the difference of an arbitrary border, right? Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about the Laurentian. The line, the opacity of it is so much better. I had another chat. We were discussing wedding albums. I said I've been married so long, mine are painting inside caves. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Wonderful run through your portraits this morning. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, that was. And anybody that didn't get a chance to see that, give it a watch. Give DD Stream this morning a watch. So is anybody working on anything right now, any project? And I mean, beyond a specific image or a specific one single aspect of a project, is there anybody that's working on a larger project at the moment that they want to tell anybody about? Because, yeah, if we can encourage more of that. I hope that in my rambling earlier on in the stream here, I hope that is a benefit to those students. It had a strong start about being creative with medications, but you know, I got into my groove. Alpha beateries and 3 prompts is what Rachel is working on these days. She's doing an alpha beatery, and I think everybody that's here knows what an alpha beatery is. And if you don't, let me know, and I'll explain it. Maybe I should just explain it. I don't know. An alpha beatery is a prime example of that. Is the monks during the Middle Ages, in order to maintain general education and knowledge, because it was something that most people couldn't afford. A general education could be given to the masses from the scholars that were in the monasteries by using basically flashcards back then. And so that was A, apple. You draw a picture of an apple, the letter A. And then as developed over time, more sophistication would come in, like, let's say apple. You would have the ornate A, and then the text of apple and an apple incorporated in the illustration. And the common usage of it today, of course, is A, apple, you know, with the word apple underneath, B, boy, and you see those running around the top side of kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, earliest classes. So Didi has 2 dog portraits in her works. Excellent. Are you doing those on the tone tan paper? I think that's what you said you do those on before. Rachel says, not rambling, great info and direction. Oh, well, thanks. I think the kids enjoyed it, and we'll get lots out of it. Hey, Full Fungus. Episode next Tuesday. You got a time yet on that episode, Jim? I have decided not to become a monk in spite of the alpha beatery. Is it because of hitting yourself in the forehead with a board? Is that what's keeping you from doing it? Or that's just one example I remember. Yeah, if you got a time, Jim, I think we'd all be keen to find out what time your stream's going to be on. And do you need a small version of my head in the corner, translating it for those that are hard of understanding? What he said was, I have a little doll I've been working on taking pics. Nice. If for those of you that I'm not going to get into it because I don't have a man card here, and I would need to bring one out. But there are a great deal of people that do things involving dolls and photography that I am more and more exposed to on a regular basis, that I'm going to have to draw myself a man card and keep it permanently on my desk. Just saying. That's a fun thing to do. You keep calling them kids. Some are graduate doctors and lawyers trying to immigrate to English-speaking countries. I don't know how old they are, but my eldest is going to be 32. They're kids. Unless they're 32. Then I go, oh, those adults. Now, what's the time, Jim? J. Crew. Not Barbie. Fairy dolls. Excellent. Here we go, everybody. I'll put that up. 7 p.m. Tuesday. So that's PST. So 7 p.m. for those that are trying to figure it out. 7 p.m. Tuesday night on Jim Luhan's channel. He'll be doing his next episode of Hey Man, how's your movie going? Talking about the process of animating his latest feature film. Feature animated film. So if you are in Ontario, that is going to be 10 p.m. If you are in the Midwest, it will be 9 p.m. If you are on the coast, like Halifax, then it's going to be 11 p.m. 11, possibly even 12 that he starts. So 7 p.m. next Tuesday night. Guest host or guest is Tom Racine. There you go. And Joshua prefers to get sick. Oh, no, ill. I get it. I'm hip. My mom told me. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Definitely going to bookmark that and watch that. I really have been enjoying what this crazy Jim guy's doing. If you get a chance, check out his animations on the U of Tubes. Also, just because I tend to forget to do this every now and then, today's episode is sponsored by Fake Explosion, Fake Bands, Real Music, featuring their latest album, The Illegal Casino, by Neeson and Jim. Check those out on YouTube. Seriously, it's great music for working to, and it's ridiculous. It's going to make you laugh your guts out, a lot of it. Kat is working on shopping on Amazon as my husband went out on the bike and he wouldn't take me. You fall asleep once and you got to go shopping. Oh my goodness, that's a good reason. Note to Robert, always bring your wife with you on rides. Because Robert rides as well. Yeah, you don't want to leave people shopping. That's for sure. Oh my goodness. That's why Lori keeps me on the back of her motorcycle. That's the terrifying visual, by the way. So this is Roper. That is the first character that I'm drawing on here, just because I did a page yesterday starring Stanley Roper. I don't want to leave the Mrs. Roper out in the cold here. Don't worry, she's used to feeling cold. Isn't that right, Stanley? See, I fit the joke in there for her. Chris, please be a guest on a future Hey Man. Sure thing. Let me know when. I'm down. I enjoyed watching it, but yeah, I'll be on it, sure. We just opened Industrial Pizza here in St. Catharines. I've not tried it yet. Nice. Is that a chain, Industrial Pizza? Or is it a pizza place with a really elaborate process of how they make their pizzas that involves potentially a conveyor belt, Johnny Depp, and Vincent Price? I would never have known if my habit didn't bonk his. White, love the white on plum. Oh, yeah, no, the certain colors, they just, they've got their own inner light. And I think plum is one of those. My favorite green is the olive green. And there's just something about the tonality of that you can feel the other values, the other colors. For some reason, I always feel like it has a transitional state of being a warm or a cool color, because the two colors that feed into making green, which yellow and blue variations therein, you can feel both of them depending on the look of those. And plum, I would suggest, is the same thing. I have no idea. I suspect they use nuts and bolts. Well, take a look. Look in the window next time you're by. See if they got a Johnny Depp cutting up pizzas on the conveyor belt, and an old man going, "That's right, Johnny, do it." Yeah. It's a terrible Vincent Price impression. All right. Well, listen, it's been an hour 40. Thank you, everybody that has come out to the stream today. Tomorrow, I promise you, I will spend the entirety of the stream drawn. I'll have this thing done and ready for posting tomorrow. But thank you, everybody that came out today. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to go back and look through the chat and write down any one-page ideas that came out there. And if you have one that you haven't had a chance to put out, feel free also to put it in the comments for the video. And also, apparently, comments on anybody's videos is better for the videos. Like, somehow that makes the robots want more people to look at it because somebody looked at it and said, "Hey." So, yeah. I tried Le Grip and a white marker and was disappointed. Two of them were dry. Oh, that's yeah. Note to self: don't get Le Grip. Willkommen. Nice. Take care, all. Thank you very much, Kat and Pace. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dee Dee. Thanks, everybody, for coming on out. I really appreciate everybody doing it. I hope you had some fun. Hopefully, we shared some ideas and helped each other learn things. I know I always learn things from everybody engaging in the streams. I'll go through the chat and find out the one-page ideas I missed and try to respond to any questions I didn't get to. But in the interim, I'm back 2 o'clock tomorrow. If wherever you are, if you're in the Pacific time zone, it's 11. If you're in Ontario, it's 2. So use that as your guide, okay, for figuring out the times. And tomorrow we'll be talking about some other stuff and going through some different things. And in the interim, I hope you're creating and working on whatever it is that you're doing to find that expressive means for yourself to, like I said earlier, it helps you get a sense of equilibrium. It helps takes down some of the stresses to find some kind of creative outlet. And I mean, if that's touring through different roads on the back of a bike, seeing things that you might not have seen before, and witnessing new things and seeing the way other people live, and use your GPS to get home if you have to. You know what I'm talking about. All right. And with that in mind, I'm going to sign off for now. If you got stuff you want to share with me, let me know. If you got stuff you want me to share with others, let me know. And I'll do that. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.